You know, some stories just feel like they've clawed their way out of a nightmare and into our world. Well, today we're going to dive into one of Japan's most unsettling legends, a story that starts with a simple gift of love, but spirals into a century of absolute fear. This is the chilling tale of the Okiku doll. I want you to think back to when you were a kid. Did you have that one toy? You know, the one you couldn't sleep without, the one you whispered all your secrets to? For most of us, a doll is just a symbol of comfort, of friendship. But what happens when that object of affection turns into something else? Something that refuses to let you go, even long after you're gone. That's exactly where this story begins. Okay, let's set the scene. We're in Japan. The year is 1918. We're about to meet the Suzuki family. Now, they didn't have much money, but they had this incredibly deep bond, especially between a devoted older brother and his sweet little sister. So here's the situation. Eikichi is 17, and he absolutely adores his little sister, Kikuko, who's just about to turn 4. Their family is struggling. Their dad's a laborer, their mom's a seamstress, and all Kikuko wants for her birthday is a doll to be her best friend. Her parents just can't afford it. But Eikichi, he was determined. He spent a whole month doing odd jobs, saving every single penny. So while he's searching through the markets, he spots it, sitting in a shop window. It was this traditional Japanese doll, but it was different. It had a red kimono, short black hair, and this expression that was somehow both peaceful and, I don't know, like it knew everything. He knew right then and there that was the one. He bought it for his sister. And the doll was a huge hit. It brought so much joy to this little girl's life. But that happiness was tragically short-lived. This is where the doll's story takes a dark, permanent turn and enters the shadow of Okiku. Kikuko was just over the moon. She named her new best friend Okiku, which was probably a nickname for herself. She took that doll everywhere. She combed its hair, she slept with it every single night. The two were absolutely inseparable. And just look how quickly everything went wrong. Just a few weeks after her birthday, Kikuko got bitten by a mosquito. She came down with a really bad case of malaria, and the illness was just so fast and brutal. She passed away in her bed, clutching the Okiku doll. Her family, completely heartbroken, placed the doll on a memorial shelf to remember her. So, in their grief, the family kept the doll as this precious reminder of their daughter. But it wasn't long before they started to suspect that maybe they weren't alone. These strange things started happening, making them think that a piece of Kikuko, or maybe something else, had stayed behind with the doll. It all started pretty subtly. At night, Eikichi would hear these faint whispers, a little girl's laughter down the hall, and it sounded exactly like his sister. Then one day, he gets home, and all of Kikuko's old drawings are just scattered all over the floor, and right there in the middle of them was the Okiku doll. The windows were shut, nobody else was home. And this was the first undeniable sign that something was seriously wrong. When Aikichi put the doll back on its shelf, he noticed this impossible change. Its hair, which was always cut to about neck length, was now down to its shoulders. And it wasn't just longer. The pure black color now had this brownish tint, and it had split ends, like human hair. You know, at first his parents just chalked it up to grief, their minds playing tricks on them. But the hair kept growing. Eventually, they couldn't deny it, so his mom did what seemed like the logical thing to do. She grabbed a pair of scissors and trimmed the doll's hair right back to its original length. This one little act, meant to just restore some normalcy, well, it did the exact opposite. It unleashed hell. The second that hair was cut, the whole thing escalated from these creepy little whispers to just outright terror. The family's home wasn't their sanctuary anymore. It was a prison they were sharing with something truly malevolent. That very night, the mother had this horrible nightmare of Kikuko crying, just furious that her doll's hair had been cut. She woke up screaming because the Okiku doll was sitting right there on her chest, staring down at her. After that, it never stopped. The whole family started having nightmares about the doll trying to kill them. They'd see its head slowly turn to watch them as they walked by. They saw its eyes blink. It was just a constant, terrifying presence in their own home. Finally, they just couldn't take it anymore. The father grabbed the doll, took it out to a field nearby, and buried it deep in the ground. That night, they were woken up by this violent pounding on the door and the sound of a child crying. The father finally works up the courage to open it, and there it was, the Okiku doll. Before he could even scream, its hair just shot out, wrapped around his neck, and started strangling him. In a total panic, Akakichi just screamed his sister's name, Kikugo! And just like that, the doll went limp. The hair released its grip. They were trapped. Every single time they tried to get rid of the doll, it came back. They were forced to live in this waking nightmare for 2 decades, 20 years of sleepless nights and constant, silent fear. So after 20 years of this torment, the Suzuki family finally found a way to get rid of the doll. Well, not destroy it, but to give it to the one place they hoped could contain whatever was inside it, a Buddhist temple. It was 1938. And the family had decided they had to move. They knew they couldn't just leave the doll, so they took it to the Muninji temple and just laid it all out for the monks. They told them everything. And the monks, they actually agreed to take the cursed thing into their care. This timeline really puts the doll's long, cursed journey into perspective. I mean, it goes from a simple birthday gift in 1918 to being handed over to this temple in 1938, and now it's been an object of fascination and fear for over 100 years. It's still at that temple today, locked away. And the phenomena did not stop. The monks at Maninji confirm it. The doll's hair is still growing, and they have to trim it on a regular basis. You can go see the doll, but you are absolutely forbidden from taking any pictures. And the legend warns that if you stare into its deep eyes for too long, you will be plagued by horrific nightmares. For decades, the endlessly growing hair was the doll's most famous and terrifying feature. But recently, the monks who take care of it have noticed something new developing. Something that is, believe it or not, even more disturbing. And this is the final chilling twist to the whole story. The doll's mouth, which for almost a century was just a simple, closed, painted line, it has slowly started to part open, and inside, people have seen the unmistakable shape of small, human-like teeth starting to grow. So this leaves us with the ultimate question, right? Is this the sad spirit of little Kikuko, forever tied to her favorite toy, her body changing as if she were still growing? Or did her tragedy and her grief somehow open a door for something much older and much more sinister to move in and just pretend to be a little girl? We may never know for sure,